Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to dig in.
Well, today we're tackling a pretty big challenge in the sales world.
Oh, yeah.
It's about why so many new sales recruits just aren't hitting those targets, you know?
Right. That's a big one for sure.
So we're looking at this article from the Sales Experts.
Okay.
They lay out like 10 reasons why new recruits might be struggling.
10. Wow. Okay.
And we really want to pull out those actionable insights today
Sounds good.
for all our sales leaders out there, hiring managers, executives, anyone building a team, really.
Definitely, because, building a successful sales team, it really is crucial for any business.
Totally. And the sales experts, they start off strong with the onboarding process.
Onboarding. So important, but often overlooked, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like you can't just throw someone in the deep end and expect them to swim, can
No,
you?
no, definitely not. Especially in sales where product knowledge is absolutely key.
And that's their first point. Like we always hear about, the gift of gab in sales.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But these sales experts, they're saying product knowledge is like equally important.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I'd argue it's even more important than just being a smooth talker.
Yeah. So why is that?
Well, think about it. A salesperson who really, truly understands the product. They can sell with conviction, with enthusiasm.
That makes sense.
It's about believing in what you're selling. It translates to confidence.
And buyers can sense that, right?
Absolutely. They can feel that authenticity, and that makes them more likely to trust the salesperson and ultimately buy the product.
So we're not just talking about features and benefits here.
No, it's about going deeper, connecting on that level of value, how it solves problems.
It's about creating a team of experts, not just salespeople.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the sales experts actually, they suggest a structured 90-day onboarding program.
Okay, so like dedicated training resources and stuff.
Exactly. That way, new hires, they don't just understand what they're selling, they develop that deep emotional investment in the product. Yeah, like if you believe in the product yourself, that passion is going to come through when you're talking to customers.
Absolutely. It fuels that drive to win, which is so essential in sales.
Okay, I'm with you there. And now, there's this common myth we hear all the time, that a great salesperson can sell anything.
Oh, I've heard that one too.
Yeah, and the sales experts, they debunk that right away.
Good. Because it's simply not true.
They say it's all about matching the right skills to the right role.
Right. You need the right person for the right job. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
So give us some examples of what that actually looks like.
Sure. So think about selling to, let's say, a small business owner versus navigating a huge enterprise sale.
Okay, yeah, very different.
The sales cycle, the people involved, the decision-making process, it's all different.
So someone who's amazing at, say, generating leads might not be the best person to close those complex deals.
Exactly. Or think about high-volume transactional sales versus, consultative selling, where building those long-term relationships is key.
Got it. So hiring managers, they really need to look closely at the specific demands of the role.
Right. And then match those with the strengths of their recruits.
Okay, so we've covered onboarding and skills matching. What else?
Well, the sales experts, they also emphasize the importance of equipping your team with the right resources.
This is like going beyond just product knowledge.
Exactly. We're talking about websites, case studies, brochures, things that help salespeople tell that compelling story.
Yeah, because knowledge is power, but you need the tools to actually use it, right?
Exactly. Imagine a salesperson trying to, pitch a complex software solution
Right.
without any case studies to show its real-world impact. That's tough.
Or trying to generate leads without a CRM system to track their progress. It's like trying to navigate in the dark.
Exactly. And giving your team the right tools, it shows them that you value their time, that you're invested in their success.
You're setting them up to win.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
all ties back to creating that supportive environment we were talking about earlier.
Right. Because the sales experts, they really highlight how a toxic or unsupportive culture can totally sabotage sales performance.
Oh, absolutely. You need an environment where people feel comfortable taking risks, sharing ideas, and learning from their mistakes.
They talk about trust, clear communication, and healthy competition.
Right, because when you have that positive, collaborative culture, it creates a sense of ownership.
People feel like they're all in it together.
Exactly. It's not just about individual numbers, it's about the team winning together.
And that leads us to another important point the sales experts make. Setting realistic expectations.
Yeah, and offering a motivating compensation structure.
Because unrealistic targets can be like really demotivating, especially for new recruits who are still finding their footing,
Absolutely. It's about setting goals that are challenging but achievable.
and then providing that clear path to get there.
Exactly. And it's not just about commission either. The sales experts emphasize a balanced approach. Base salary plus commission.
Because, let's be real, if your compensation plan isn't competitive, you're not going to attract top talent.
Right, and they actually caution against relying too heavily on either base salary or commission.
Interesting.
Too much base salary can, create complacency, while too much commission can lead to aggressive, short-sighted tactics.
So it's about finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. That balance that motivates people and aligns with both individual and company goals.
So as leaders, we have to ask, are our compensation plans driving the right behaviors? Are they attracting the best people?
Absolutely. And remember, the market's always changing, so you got to revisit and adjust those plans regularly.
Well, this has been a fantastic start to our deep dive. So many insights already.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But there's more to come. We'll be back in a moment to explore even more reasons why those new recruits might be struggling.
And of course, what you can do about it.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Let's jump right back into those 10 reasons why new sales recruits might be struggling.
All right, so we've talked about training, the right skills, company culture, and compensation. What else have the sales experts got for us?
Well, one thing they highlight, and it's often overlooked, is the quality of leads.
Oh, yeah, the leads themselves.
Because you can have the best salesperson in the world, but if they're chasing dead-end leads,
We're not going to hit those numbers.
it's like sending them on a treasure hunt with a map to an empty chest,
Right. So what do the sales experts recommend?
They say invest in a solid lead generation and qualification process.
Okay, so that's more than just getting a ton of leads.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity.
So how do you make sure those leads are actually good?
Well, the sales experts suggest thorough market research, creating those detailed customer profiles,
Yeah, those are helpful.
and using data to pinpoint the most promising leads, the ones that are actually a good fit.
So it's not just about volume. It's about making sure those leads align with your product or service.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this actually connects back to what we were discussing earlier about, matching skills to roles.
Right, the right person for the right job.
If you have a closer who's amazing at those complex deals, you don't want to give them leads who are just looking for basic info.
It's about setting your team up to win by giving them the right opportunities.
Exactly. And once you have those high-quality leads, you got to give your team the tools to nurture them, to convert them.
So we're talking about CRM systems, sales automation, maybe even personalized content to address specific pain points.
Exactly. Give them what they need to succeed.
Now, the sales experts also mentioned inadequate compensation as a big demotivator.
Yes, and we touched on this a bit earlier, but it's so important.
It bears repeating.
A good compensation plan needs that balance, base salary, and commission, rewarding both effort and results.
Because if your compensation isn't competitive, you're not going to attract those top performers.
Exactly. And the sales experts, they caution against leaning too heavily on either base salary or commission.
So too much base salary can create complacency.
Right. And too much commission can lead to that cutthroat environment.
Where it's all about individual gain over teamwork.
Exactly. So finding that sweet spot, that balance, is key.
So incentives that align with company goals and individual goals.
And remember, a good plan is dynamic. It adapts to changes in the market, company goals, and individual performance.
So we've talked about external factors like the leads, the compensation. What about the internal environment?
Well, the sales experts bring up company culture as a major factor.
Right, because a negative or unsupportive culture can really hurt sales, especially for those new recruits still finding their way.
Absolutely. It can be a huge roadblock.
So what kind of culture are we looking for here?
A culture of trust, open communication, healthy competition.
Yeah, they talked about that in the article.
If your team feels like they can't speak up or share ideas, it creates anxiety, and that impacts performance.
So an environment where people feel empowered to take risks, share ideas, support each other, even when things don't go perfectly.
Exactly. Mistakes happen, especially with new recruits. It's about how those mistakes are handled.
A supportive culture encourages learning and growth.
While a toxic culture just breeds fear and blame.
And that brings us to another crucial point, providing sales recruits with the right tools and resources.
Oh, absolutely. In today's digital age, it's not enough to just hand them a phone and a list of contacts and say, good luck.
Right. They need technology, data, training, all of it.
To navigate this increasingly complex sales landscape.
So we're talking CRM systems, sales automation tools, analytics platforms, things like that.
Exactly. And don't forget about ongoing training and development opportunities. The sales world is constantly evolving.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to something the sales experts mentioned earlier, mentorship.
Ah, yes, mentorship. It's so valuable, especially for those new recruits who are just starting out.
They recommended pairing each new hire with a senior salesperson, someone who can guide them, be a sounding board.
It's like a buddy system where experienced salespeople can share their wisdom, their best practices.
Because learning from someone who's been there, done that, can really accelerate that learning curve.
And it's not just about tactical advice. It's about creating that sense of belonging, of camaraderie.
So being part of a supportive team.
Exactly. That feeling can make all the difference in a new recruit's success. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
So mentorship, it's a valuable investment.
Absolutely. It's investing in the future of your sales team.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
From training and onboarding to company culture and mentorship.
The sales experts, they paint a pretty clear picture.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Building a high-performing sales team, it's a multifaceted approach.
It's not just about, finding talented people. It's about setting them up for success.
Exactly. Creating an environment where they can thrive, reach their full potential.
And the sales experts, they really stress that it's an ongoing process, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's not a one-time fix.
It's about continuous improvement, always evaluating, gathering feedback.
And making adjustments along the way.
Speaking of adjustments, let's revisit those secret success tips.
Ah, yes, the secret sauce.
The sales experts recommended a structured 90-day onboarding plan.
And a mentorship program for new hires.
We've talked about mentorship, but
Yeah.
that 90-day plan, why is that so crucial?
Well, a structured onboarding plan, it gives those new recruits a clear roadmap.
Okay, so they know what's expected of them.
Exactly. It outlines expectations, sets milestones, makes sure they have the training and resources they need.
So no more feeling lost at sea.
No more just throwing them in and hoping for the best.
It's about giving them that structure, that support from day one.
Exactly. Set them up for success right from the start.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the sales experts' insights, I want to ask our listeners, what really resonated with you today?
Yeah, what stood out? Was it the product knowledge piece?
The company culture aspect? The power of mentorship?
What are you going to take away from this and actually apply?
Because identifying those key takeaways, that's the first step.
Absolutely. It's all about action.
So what one change could you make today to better support your sales recruits?
Think about it. What can you do to drive sales success within your organization?
Maybe revamp that onboarding process.
Give your team better tools, create a more collaborative environment.
Whatever it is, take that step.
Your sales team will thank you for it, and so will your bottom line.
Now, for even more insights and resources,
Be sure to visit the Sales Experts website.
a treasure trove of information for sales leaders at all levels.
Definitely worth checking out.
That's it for our deep dive today. We hope you found it valuable, and we'll see you next time. Keep those sales pipelines flowing.